B-boys and B-girls. Woo! That's him. Let's go. Transform on them. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, B-boys and B-girls.
My flow was bananas. Split the proceeds between me and my baby mama. Ask how can a dude be this cool? Come in the spot, ladies like, ooh, we missed you. Everybody wants you to respond when they dish you. I'm repping my own game, my flow is official. Everybody screaming at the strap with them pistols. I came here to party, kill a track and make chicks move. It's cool, you can move to the street music. Put the heat to it, get up off your feet, lose it, pop lock. Even if you can't, just try it. Gas them in the stores, just buy it. Started in the BX, now it's worldwide. Everybody locking when you go outside. I got the block party rocking, yo, let's go outside. Let the poppers pop, do the Jackson 5. Hey,
poppers pop, let the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop, let the breakers break. Hey, 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 hey. Let the poppers pop, let the breakers break. Let the poppers pop, let the breakers break. Let the poppers pop, let the breakers break. Hey, hey, hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, hey, hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break. Hey, hey, hey. Let the poppers pop and the breakers break.
Hello, and welcome to the first edition of Sabir Teen Talk Show. Sabir means stop anger, avoid violence, educate, and redeem. Today we are talking about bullying, pinpointing on the different forms of bullying: physical, mental, and cyberbullying. Johnny Lewis. Let's discuss bullying, whether it's mental, physical, or cyber. How does it start?
It starts when someone feels as though they have power over you. When someone takes their insecurities and puts it on you to make you feel as small as they feel. That's how I feel.
I agree that that's a major role, and I think nowadays cyberbullying is the main topic and the main issue nowadays, because everyone feels like that's somewhere they can run to bully someone, because it's not in person, you know, and they feel like they have more power behind a screen.
Yes, I agree. I feel as though mental bullying is the basics of bullying, and then it exceeds to physical bullying when mental bullying isn't enough to traumatize the victim. And then cyberbullying is just that, like, giving them more confidence in bullying someone else, because, you know, their face is not being shown, you know, they're feeling cocky.
Showing off online.
Exactly. Why do you think people bully others?
Again, it's to have that power over someone. I'm not feeling so great about myself, so I'm going to make you feel like crap.
Yeah.
And I feel as though that's where it starts. It starts within the bully. I don't think the bully is necessarily a bad person, but they take all the anger and who knows what's going on at home and with themselves personally, and they just put it on you and make you feel less.
Or, you know, their insecurities, or they're lonely and they feel like, okay, attention. Some of them do it for attention, others just do it to release what they have, you know, the anger or whatever, on someone else to gain power.
Yeah, I agree. They feel as though that's the only option there is to let go of all the negative energy they have, and they feel as though releasing that negative energy on someone else is benefiting them, and it's not.
Agreed.
Does standing up to a bully resolve the situation, or does it make it worse?
I think it depends, like, the person and the situation, because, I mean, you can stand up to a bully, you know, and you can stand up to them, and then sometimes, depending on how the situation is, it can be done and over, but usually, standing up to a bully, it just escalates into more violence, someone getting killed, someone committing suicide. It's just too much.
Standing up to a bully leads to physical bullying, which most people are scared of. I don't want to stand up to you because I know you're probably bigger than me in appearance and angry looking, and I don't want to become, you know, bait. And telling someone is hard because you are now a snitch, you're a tattletale, and you have more people after you.
Yeah, from my observations, I've never really seen it resolved. I've actually seen it get worse. So I really think it depends on the situation, how bad it is.
Within the school community, there aren't a lot of people there to protect the students. In a hallway, if someone comes up to me and confronts me and wants to fight me, I doubt that I would see a teacher around. And if a teacher is around, I would think that the fight already escalated to the point where security guards are breaking us off of each other. Then it leads to suspension, which doesn't even solve the problem. You're out of school for a few days, you're back to interrogating.
Exactly. I agree with Yanni. And nowadays, there's teachers that are tagging along with the bully,
Exactly.
escalating it, and thinking it's funny. And that's not, that's another issue that's going on.
Kids shooting their peers in schools. Explain how it gets to this point and how.
I see pictures online that clown the situation as far as saying the weirdo in the corner, watch out for him because he'll shoot you up. And that's where it starts to me. I feel like in school, these people can't defend themselves in any other way. They have nobody by their side, they have no friends, and violence is the only way that I can handle this, that way that I can make you disappear and I won't have any more problems in my life. And I feel as though that's the mindset of those people.
Exactly, and they let it build in so much that that's the only violence is the answer when they release, and it shouldn't get to that point.
It should not get to that point, and it's getting to that point because there's not enough resources at school or in their communities to help resolve bullying and, to help the victim. And if there is, the victim is hesitant because they're either going to be called a snitch or they feel as though the problem will escalate. Mental, physical, or cyber? How does it start?
I think bullying starts from cyberbullying. Because online, you're a tough person on the other side of the screen until it happens in real life. And then that person feels superior enough to make you feel this small. And I think that's how it starts.
What do you think?
I think it starts in all different types of areas. But I think right now, social media is the big issue and where it's mainly starting.
I agree. Because social media is, I feel like it's the future. Technology is the future, and bullying is escalating more on social media. Facebook, Twitter, mostly on Twitter. Have you guys been seeing what's on?
Always on Twitter. It's always degrading the opposite genders, exposing, and just talking down on people's opinions.
Many bullies have dysfunctional family environments. Also, they may suffer with mental illnesses. How does someone detect this and not become a victim?
It's hard to detect unless the person comes forward. But in the environment of school, people take everything as a joke. Someone can be going through something and might not want to tell anybody because they're just there for education, but you nagging them and putting extra stress on them can make the situation much worse because you don't know what people's going through in their own lives.
Exactly. Nowadays, I witness at school that it's for fun now, and I'm not understanding that people just clowning each other thinking it's funny. So it's actually really hard to detect if it's serious or if it's for play.
Exactly. And we do have special classes in our school, for the dysfunctional people with, illnesses. And I've witnessed someone bully a kid with an illness, and, it breaks my heart because it should never get to that point, and people are just standing around and they're laughing, or, they think it's entertainment. Should there be a team of students or adults in every school connected with the police department and or the commissioner of the school system, an anti-bullying?
Definitely.
Most definitely, yeah.
But
It's a big help.
I don't feel as though the people of the school put enough attention towards that. They feel as though the many assemblies that we have for 1 year will make the students reevaluate their lives. In reality, within those 2 days,
Yeah.
good
It
people,
goes right back to normal.
right back to normal, especially online.
Not enough impact. Not at all. And that needs to change because I'm seeing more and more situations that's related to bullying on the news, and it's escalating every single
It's
day.
violence.
And I think social media plays a big role
Social
in
media.
today's bullying.
Because technology is the future. So this is what people are depending on more and more.
And on social media, you can't erase anything. Anything that you put up on there is there forever, and you can't fix it. Once it's up there, it's permanent, and that's a big problem. People find that life is a game. It's certain stuff that you can't take back, and people don't realize that, and that's permanently affecting someone's life.
Exactly. Rethink before you send. Rethink before you send.
The situation is never that serious.
Exactly. Is the help that people need to stop bullying helping, or is it not helping?
I think it depends on if the person even takes the initiative to go get help, which many don't. And I've seen problems myself in school where going to authority figure doesn't even help. As far as like with fighting, if someone comes up to me and tries to hit me, I'm supposed to go find an adult or a teacher to help me with the problem. What if no one's around? You have to defend yourself. I'm just not going to stand there and get punched on. And I feel like teachers aren't taking enough action with being around, not enough security guys, not enough people handling the situation.
I agree. And nowadays, teachers are going along with the situations.
Exactly.
They're thinking it's funny. They're helping the other student fight the other
They're
student.
partaking in it.
Exactly. So I think it's a big issue.
Yeah, there's not much action going on to prevent bullying. We do have assemblies at our school, and it literally happens like once a year. And it's, people, they feel the emotion, they want to make a change maybe for 2 days, but then everyone forgets about it. So I feel as though they need to take more action, maybe more assemblies, build more organizations, get this to more communities. So,
I agree.
it could resolve. If you look at bullying online, there are many cases of kids shooting their peers in schools. Explain how it gets to this point and how.
This goes back to cyberbullying. I see a lot of pictures online with that one kid in school who's in the corner and people make fun of him and, he's not nothing. He's not going to amount to anything. He has no friends. And this kid feels as though since he has no friends, he can retaliate in a violent way. And I also see jokes online where you should be friends with him because people like him would show up at school, and that would make it even more, So,
yeah. I agree with what she's saying. They always. There's a saying, the quietest ones are always, but it's crazy that people like to pick on the quiet ones just because they're quiet. That's another issue. Like, people.
Exactly, and that's, as I would say again, it should never get to that point. And not enough action, not enough organizations, not enough communities are aware of how serious bullying is. It's being taken too lightly, and to the point where kids are shooting in schools. Like, it's to that point.
to resolve a problem
It's really crazy.
that can be fixed.
That's insane. Like, can you imagine yourself being in that situation?
I
A friend
can't
of
even
yours,
imagine.
your friend of yours, that shooting up a school. They didn't even come to you to at least converse with what they're going through. Doesn't it make you feel some type of way?
It actually would, because we have that bond. So I would figure, you would come to me and we could solve it instead of using violence as the answer.
Agreed.
Like, if you don't feel comfortable telling authority, you might as well, at least tell your friends, But it never gets to that point.
I think it's very difficult because you don't walk into a classroom and just be like, oh my God, just point out the person who you think has issues. You would think everybody's there to learn, everybody's normal, and the teacher's not gonna. I feel like students, if the school knows that a student has issues, they should have them in a separate classroom. Not to outcast them, but for everyone else to be safe.
It's very hard to detect if someone has such a dysfunctional I think the only illness you'll be able to detect is if someone has schizophrenia, movement in their chair, talking to themselves. But other than that, it's very hard to detect if someone has an illness. So maybe if the teacher maybe touches on the topic with the classmates, become more aware and maybe try to avoid the situation.
I feel like family issues and illnesses aren't something to be shared in the first place. I don't think anyone would just openly say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. I just feel like people shouldn't be rude to the point where a person has to reflect on their life in that way. I feel like we're all here to learn, and that's what we should be here doing, learning, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Should there be a team of students or adults in every school connected with the police department and or the commissioner of the school system?
Yes, of course.
I think that will help resolve bullying much more.
Way further, I don't think suspension is a way of stopping bullying.
Exactly.
You can plan something outside of your
Come right
career.
out. Come right. Yeah.
And what can you do when a person is dead? There's nothing you can do.
Should there be a team of
Next question.
bullying is growing more and more each day. This means that something isn't being resolved. Teasing and other bullying tactics are leading to many murders and suicides. The problem could begin at home if we could come together and develop a system.
Have you ever been bullied?
Have you ever been bullied?
Yes. My story was how I was confident. I was a little too confident in myself, which I don't think is a problem. I feel as though you should have all the confidence that you love and want. But a lot of girls didn't appreciate my confidence or the way that I was as a tomboy, that I liked to play basketball and, I liked to hang with the guys at the basketball court. So they would try to bully me. They would bring girls over to crowd me in. They would try to jump me after school. I had to run home after school, and I wouldn't tell my parents. And also, now that I'm growing up with guys, it's a different issue with crazy guys who expect things that,
Yeah.
So it's like you have to look within yourself and tell yourself that you're better than that you don't need those people in your life, that you can continue on instead of, being in your room sad, crying, your parents asking what's going on. I think that you should be honest with your friends and your parents about what's going on so you don't feel like you have no one else to run to. So that was my situation.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've also been bullied before in my science class. I'd raise my hand, ask the teacher questions, just being myself. And this girl in my class would always find something to say to me negatively. And, it really brought me down. And I had really high confidence, I had really high self-esteem, but day by day in that class, my self-esteem would go lower and lower and lower. And from my observation, towards the end of maybe the third month, I realized that this girl had a lot of insecurities. And that refers to my statement before that people tend to bully others because of their lack of self-esteem and their insecurities. And that's kind of what I came to a conclusion that's why she was bullying me. And then I just realized that, just to hold my head up, to hold my head up high, to not let that affect me, that she has her own problems that she needs to take care of. And yeah, just to keep on going. Don't let it bring you down to that point. Confidence is everything. So yeah, that was my situation.
I've been bullied. I was always the cool kid, but I was always the big girl out of the group,
Mm-hmm.
And around third grade, I remember on the playground we play, and I've always had the side comments, but I really wouldn't pay mind to it until maybe 7th grade, 8th grade. It's like, wow, I just it got to me, and after a while, it was just like I was starting to get depressed, stressed, and I was just eating more, until one summer, the summer going into sophomore year, I realized, you know what, Mariah, you need to get it together, not just for yourself, but, you know, your health conditions. And, you know, after that, I got it together, and it felt good. It felt good, and I think confidence plays a big part in it.
I agree. Bullying is growing more and more each day. This means that something isn't being resolved. Teasing and other bullying tactics are leading to many murders and suicides. The problem could begin at home if we don't come together and develop a system. We could change the direction of our youth. I challenge the older generation to help us fix this problem. If you're interested in helping us put together a program, get out a pen and at the end of the show, write down our info and give us a call. We can't do it by ourselves. We needed to take the time out and to make this call. At Xavier, we offer many different opportunities for the youth, free use of our recording studio, and much more. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, this is Xavier. Stop anger, avoid violence, educate, and redeem. Until next time, peace. Segment of the Xavier Teen Talk Show. Today we'll be making jazzed up tilapia. So we already have the tilapia prepared, all covered in parsley mixed in, and we have the olive oil prepared. We have red onions, we have minced garlic, and we have green bell peppers. So this will be tossed in with the tilapia. So we're gonna have a rice all in there. Beautiful. Ooh, we have a little. So good. It's okay. So good. Ooh, that looks so good. We have tilapia over here.
Gonna saute these until they're golden brown.
All right, so we have white wine also with the tilapia.
After this gets browned up a little bit, you know, after we added the balsamic and the white wine, we're gonna add this with the tilapia and then mix it all together. So I think I'm gonna serve. How do you think this looks, Anne? You think it's ready to go?
Yeah, the browning is beautiful.
Okay. So this is gonna be so tasty. Good. All of that.
Welcome back to the cooking segment of the Xavier Teen Talk Show. We have just finally finished all the dishes. We have the tilapia sauteed with green bell peppers, red onions, minced garlic, and then we have a special side dish, which is a favorite dish of mine. We tossed parsley, cayenne pepper, canola oil. Gonna add this here. Yeah, so these are one of my favorite dishes. So I hope everyone enjoys. This is a.
How often do you make this?
This recipe was founded by Maurice Thompson.
Came out good, you guys.
Thank you for watching. This is the Cooking Summit of the Xavier Teen Talk Show.